Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha. Is the sound quality clear? Mahadev.
Swamiji. It is clear, Swamiji.
All right, we will begin. Om. Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tamha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamam Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vansharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanaghanaha Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Om Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohadvanta Divakaraya Bhagavat Pada Vidham Bibhrate Tasmai Bhashakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. Om Yam hi na vyathayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham bhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Now in the earlier verses, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has shown Arjuna that not only this Atma is Nitya. Nitya means unaffected by time, not conditioned, not limited by time. Any object whose existence is conditioned by time means there is a definite point in time when it was created, born, or came into existence. And there is definitely going to be another point from where that object will cease to exist, which we say is the death of that object, of that name and form. Arjuna, the self-being free from name and form, unaffected by this name and form, is also untouched by the, and therefore time is not able to draw the brackets in which the Atma exists, and beyond the brackets does not exist. Therefore, if you think that Bhishma and Drona, etc., which are names and forms, then with cessation of these names and forms, that which was or that which is present and makes Bhishma and Drona as realities, as real entities, does not get destroyed. And therefore, if you're going to, if you're grieving for that which will get destroyed, the self getting destroyed, then it is misplaced, because you are crying for something which can never be destroyed. Atma is Nitya. So also this Atma is not only Nitya, but is Eka, is one. That which is available over here in Arjuna as I, that what is referred by you, Arjuna, as I, is the same self everywhere. Then Arjuna's or any student's question would be, but sir, if the self is one, then how is there that each one over here, whether it is Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, Yudhishthir, Nakul, Sahadev, everybody refers to the self as being different from each other. And that is because we now are seeing that the sukha and dukkha, the joys and sorrow of one person are different from joys and sorrows of another person. Atma is indestructible. Fine, sir, but this Atma is still different. And therefore, now even that doubt was also clarified by Sri Krishna by saying, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukhadukhadaha agama paino nityaha tan stitikshasva bharata. O Bharata, O Arjuna, who revels in knowledge. Bharata is an epithet that is given to Arjuna and everybody who is born, who was born in that lineage, in that clan of Bharata. But over here in this present context, this address, this vocative case as O Bharata is very meaningful. It is not just telling Arjuna, you are Mr. So and so born in this family. But in fact, it means the one who revels in knowledge, not one who wallows in ignorance. That is because we often take pride in ignorance. Ignorance is not something that one has to be proud about, nor is ignorance something that one has to feel ashamed of. But ignorance is something that needs to be just eradicated by ushering in the light of knowledge. And ignorance is something that should be eradicated, because ignorance is the cause of bondage, is the cause of misery. If you look around and ask people, What is it that is causing you misery? People will have several different answers. Somebody is bound to say it is because of my wife, because of my husband, because of unemployment, because of my neighbor, because of my ailment, because of something of the other. But we do not find an answer to this misery, as the cause of the misery is ignorance. And this is because one has really not contemplated on it. And therefore, though people are fighting misery right from the time they are born till the moment they depart, people seem to be only surrounded by misery. Sometimes it becomes very prominent, poignant, forceful. Sometimes it just remains as a lingering sense of dukkham, maybe as some form of loneliness, boredom, sense of failure, sense of being insignificant, so on and so forth. But misery remains shrouding the person all the time. Though he is seriously, honestly, with all his skills, intelligence, he is fighting only to overcome misery. And yet it does not go away because one has not been able to identify what exactly is misery and what is the cause of misery. What do you mean by dukkham, and what is the cause of this dukkham? Here we get a hint provided by the Upanishad, provided by the Vedas. Tarati Shokam Atmavid, the only one who knows the self, goes beyond the misery, which means that for him now the misery doesn't exist. And therefore now we are able to understand that the cause of misery, if cause of freedom is knowledge, then obviously that which is absence of knowledge, or which is like absence of knowledge, is ignorance. And therefore this ignorance is the cause of misery. But then how can this ignorance be cause of misery? Because misery is nothing else but this sense of incompleteness, this sense of dissatisfaction, this sense of being unfulfilled is misery. Then why am I so unfulfilled? Why am I so incomplete? People will have several answers to it. Somebody is going to say, because my career did not take off as I wanted, and therefore this sense of inadequacy, incompleteness, unfulfillment. Somebody is going to say, because I was not able to marry the girl of my choice. Therefore, somebody's mic is on. Please, you need to put your mic on mute. Yeah. Therefore, there is misery. Now, the cause of misery, the excuse with which misery expresses may be different. For some people, it can be his emotional life, his childhood experiences, his present day work atmosphere, his health, or his wife's health, whatever it could be. But the real cause of this sense of dissatisfaction, of unfulfillment, of incompleteness is only because of not knowing that this self is complete, and therefore Ignorance is the cause of misery. Therefore, O Arjuna, you, O Bharata, O Bharata, the one who revels in knowledge, Bhav Prakashane, the one who revels, Rata is to revel, the one who revels in knowledge. This is what you are meant for you are born as Bharata. As a human being, do not forget that you have already decided what your objectives in life are. For somebody making more and more money, for somebody to become more and more popular, for somebody to have more and more pleasure seems to be their philosophy, their objectives of life. But according to the Upanishad, the true objective is now putting an end to the misery. And putting an end to the misery means ushering in knowledge, and therefore, Arjuna, you are Bharata. Know that this Atma, whom you are saying is different per body, is because everywhere, every body seems to be having their own set of Sukha and Dukkha. And that is the reason why you are saying the Atma is different per head, no matter Atma may be Nitya. But Atma seems to be, there are multiple Atmas, and therefore, to answer this question, Sri Krishna has now shown us the Viveka. Madhusudana Saraswati very well brought it out by saying that the location of Sukha and Dukkha is not the Atma, because of which you are saying Atma is different. The location of Sukha and Dukkha is Antakaranam, is the inner equipment, the mind, and that is where it belongs. And therefore, when you go to sleep, all your successes and failures just vanish. All your achievements and failures just vanish. Sukha and Dukkha has got no significance over there. Where the mind is not, Sukha and Dukkha is also not there. That is what happens even when a person is administered anesthesia. The contact with the mind is blocked. And therefore, even if the body part which is anesthetized is chopped off, is cut open, the person does not feel any pain at all. Because now that mind is, you are there, but that mind is not present, is not allowed to access that particular part. Contact is broken, and therefore, Arjuna, know that the Sukha and Dukkha belong to the mind, and minds are definitely different. Every person has got his own mind, and therefore the opinions of people are also are bound to be different. But with difference of opinions, with difference of these experiences of Sukha and Dukkha, joys and sorrows, the Atma does not get divided and is not multiple, is one, because there is no pramana which is now going to show that Atma is many. Atma is one, and therefore, sir, this is true. And so Bhagavan Krishna now says, Yam hina vyathayante te purusham purusharshabha. Now the one who is not shaken, the one who is not, one whose knowledge is not overpowered by the experiences that are had by coming in contact with the world. Contact with the world is bound to generate some sukha or dukkha, or a mixture of sukha and dukkha. But no, Arjuna, that both of them, all of this belongs to the category of anatma. He whose knowledge is thus not dulled by experiences around, such a person alone, amritatvaya kalpate, becomes capable of attaining liberation, which means attaining knowledge, attaining that, putting an end to a total absolute full stop to the misery. Amritatvaya kalpate. Itascha shokamoha akritva shitoshnadi sahanam yuktam. Therefore, O Arjuna, now to endure, and that endurance means upekshasva. We have been told by Madhusudan Saraswati that titikshasva, upekshasva in this present context has to be understood as, the titikshasva has to be understood as upekshasva. Endurance means now do not allow your knowledge to be diluted, to be dulled, to be covered, to be concealed by experiences of this world. Itascha, and therefore do not raise a hue and cry, do not fume and fret about it, because very often we have got this habit of why me, and why me. Why has this happened to me and why not this has happened to my neighbor? Now don't worry about it. Now whatever has come, whatever is the situation, and when that situation is recognized by your mind as conducive, it will be seen as a cause of joy. And when that condition, that situation is recognized by the mind as something not conducive, it is bound to create some form of sorrow. Therefore, shoka moha akritva, do not allow the shoka and also the delusion, forgetting what is the true nature of the self is, and then getting identified with the body-mind complex. Without having shoka and moha. Shoka is sorrow, etc. And moha is the delusion. Do not allow these things to take over. Shitoshnadi sahanam. And then let this world bring in, bombard, because the world is not waiting for your permission to deliver your experiences. Every contact with the world at every moment, whether it is the contact through the eyes, ears, skin, nose, it is bound to bring you some experience of joy, sorrow, or a mixture of all that. Sahanam yuktam. Just now over here, that endurance will mean now maintaining the awareness of what is the nature of the self. In the Indian music, etc., we have something like a drone. The tanpura is played at the back. It is not a part of the total musical instruments, but for the singer, it creates a background. The drone keeps on creating that background. Like that, let your background against which all the experiences are had, let that background be this awareness of the nature of the self. And then, whatever are the experiences of sukha and dukkha that will arrive according to the prarabdha, let it come. Then it will be it will be sahanam, because titiksha is being told over here. Adhikari visheshane titikshutve hetvantara paratvena uttara shlokam avatarayati. Now this ability to endure, this ability to have that fortitude not to break down, not to get crushed, not to get overwhelmed by the experiences of the world, whether those experiences are conducive or not conducive, not to forget, not to allow this knowledge to be to become malinam, not to allow this knowledge, this awareness to fade out eva, is is what the titiksha will allow you to have. Now, if you are going to ask what is the definition of word titiksha, endurance, Bhagavan Shankaracharya elsewhere in Viveka Chudamani has given this definition. He over there says, Sahanam sarva pratikara purvakam. Huh? What is that? Sahanam sarva pratikara purvakam. That experience is not going to be missed. Whether you are enlightened or you are not enlightened, dukkha, etc., is bound to come. Apratikara purvakam. Now, over there, you are not fighting so that this experience goes away. That experience, what is it? Sarita?
Swamiji, chinta vilapa rahitam.
Yes, correct. Chinta vilapa rahitam sa titiksha nigatyate. Yes, thank you very much. This second line was not, coming into my memory. Though it was sitting on the tip of the tongue, but it just was not. Anyway, thank you. Chinta vilapa rahitam sa titiksha nigatyate. So, over there, now whether a person is enlightened or not enlightened, whatever the experiences are there, they are bound to come. They are bound to come. Generally people have this kind of a, I do not know why this logic is, in what way this becomes a logic for people. Swamiji, since I'm a good person, why am I experiencing dukkham? And then there are books also written, why good people experience miseries. Now, if somebody is experiencing misery, that means now there is some sort of a certification, as if because I am good, I'm experiencing misery. Okay? No, sir, that is not the case. Whether you are good or bad, punyavan or papi, this whatever are the experiences, they will come. Now, chinta vilapa rahitam, without any chinta. Chinta means worry, and vilap means crying over spilt milk, lamenting over the spilt milk. Chinta vilapa rahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. This titiksha becomes an essential quality in every seeker. The one who wants to progress on the path of spirituality, which means the one who really truly wants to know with clarity that this is what is the nature of the self, this is what is the nature of the world, and then with that knowledge, putting an end to this miserable existence completely. If when one wants to walk on this path, now titiksha becomes an essential quality that should be present. And that is why Shri Krishna says, Samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Because of this titiksha, when that wise person has this titiksha, because of which now that knowledge is not forgotten, that awareness of the self is not lost, that knowledge is not diluted, then such a person alone now becomes capable of attaining liberation. Therefore, now furthermore, he says, now bhavatu purushe ekatvam. Now this is a background uh, to the next shloka, but over here, why has Bhagavan Shri Krishna even to bring forth another verse or another sentence, another statement after this, is because there is a doubt. And in order to eradicate that doubt, the teacher speaks further. The teacher does not speak because he has got a chance to speak. Huh? Oh, all these days, Arjuna, you have not asked me these questions regarding this topic. Now that you have asked, I have found an opportunity, so I'm going to push as much as I can. No, the teacher is not a pushy person. The teacher speaks because it is essential. It is essential because there is a doubt whether it is expressed or it is not expressed. Regardless of this, there is a doubt, and that doubt needs to be resolved, needs to be taken down. And resolving the doubt will happen only because doubt means that it is some sort of a gap between the cup and the lips. There is a discrepancy which needs to be removed by keeping this, by putting the pieces of jigsaw puzzle in place. The logic needs to be brought into place. Knowledge needs to be put into place. So over here, now Bhagavan, the doubt is, Nanu bhavatu purusha ekatvam. Now, sir, let this Atma be one, and let this Atma be nitya. This is not our question at all. Now we know, but sir, as much as this Atma is Satyam, is real, so much is this world also Satyam. So as much as this Drashta, Atma, is Satyam, the Anatma Padartha, that what is not Atma, is also Satyam. So we have two things. Atma, that what I am, and then the other category naturally is that what I am not. About this Atma, the fact is that it is Atma is one and is not bound by time. So there cannot be any grief, any reason to lament, to feel sorrowful about Atma. Because of Atma, there cannot be any misery. But sir, that what is Anatma is also as much real as this Atma is. So this Anatma can become the reason, the cause of misery. I am not dukhi, miserable on account of Atma now, because I have known that this Atma is Nitya, as well as this Atma is one. But what about this world? That what is seen, Anatma, that what is not the self, what about it? Tathapi tasya satyasya jada drashtrutvarupaha satyeva samsaraha. Therefore, this samsara seems to be satyam, and this satya samsara, if it is constantly going to bring dukkham, then also my becoming dukhi in this case will be justified. Why? I do not want to become dukhi, and I'm not dukhi because of Atma, but because of now Anatma. Why? Because it is Satyam, it is real, and it is the cause of dukkham. So if it is going to cause dukkham to me, therefore my becoming dukhi is also justified. Is not it true? And therefore, therefore, in order to find out what is the true nature of this world as well, we have the next shloka coming in. So what does the teacher Bhagavan Krishna say? Na sato vidyate bhavo, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, uvayorapi drishtontaha, uvayorapi drishtontaha, tvanayostatvadarshibhi, tvanayostatvadarshibhi. Now look at the verse, word by word. Nasato. So what is the sandhi vigraha over here? Na asataha. Asat. Of this asat, or for this asat, bhavaha na vidyate. Okay, the first part. Na abhavaha vidyate sataha. Of that what is sat, of that what is sat, there is no abhava. Abhavaha na vidyate, nasti, is not there. Okay, ubhayaha api. Of these both, which two? Sat and asat. About these two, ubhayoho, of these two, that what is sat and about that what is asat, antaha drishtaha. Antaha means siddhantaha. The ultimate conclusion, the final conclusion about these two is drishtaha, is seen. Seen by whom? To anayoho, about these two, ubhayoho, anayoho api, antaha drishtaha, by whom? Tatvadarshibhi, by those who are knowers of the truth. Okay, by those who are tatvadarshi, those whose nature is now, by nature they are able to see the truth. Okay. Now they are not somewhere that wanting to hide the truth, want to ignore the truth, want to neglect the truth, but they are the people who have sought to know the truth. And therefore, like over here, the truth about this earth is that it is round. The truth about the sunrise and sunset is that the sun does not rise and sun does not set. Yet we are able to conduct all our transactions by saying that wake up when the sun rises and go to sleep after the sun sets. So on and so forth. We are able to have our conversations. We are able to have conduct. We are able to conduct our transactions on these. Though this is false. And why are you calling it false? Because now in spite of all these transactions, etc., are possible, we have the knowledge that the sun does not rise or sun does not set. Then how come you are seeing the sunrise and sunset? It is because the earth is revolving around its own axis. That is the reason why we are seeing the sunrise and sunset. But seeing and experiencing the sunrise and sunset is not able to falsify your knowledge. It does not affect your knowledge that sun does not rise and sun does not set. You can see the earth as flat, but your knowledge is that the earth is spherical. This knowledge is not affected with all, though you see it flat. This knowledge is not affected. Like that, those who are Tattvadarshi, which means for whom, whose nature is to know the truth, and the truth about these two things, about that what is Sat and that what is Asat, that what is Atma and that what is Anatma, about these, because there is no third category to be known. Whatever has to be known, whatever has to be understood, is only about these two things, the self and that what is not the self, Atma and Anatma. And those who have thus known Tattvadarshi and known, and their knowledge is not lost. Okay? For such people, by these people, the conclusion has been drawn and has been shown to us. Okay? By Tattvadarshi, by the Brahmajnani, in short. What is it that they have seen about Atma and Atma? Now, Bhagavan Krishna has used a very technical word instead of choosing to use Atma and Anatma, though the discussion is about Atma and Anatma. But he chooses to use the word Sat and Asat. Okay? He chooses the words Sat and Asat. So now we will keep it that way and try to understand what Bhagavan Krishna is delivering. For the unreal, for that what is unreal, okay, so Asat. How does the verse begin? Nasato, nasato, na means no. Asataha, it is Shashtanta. Okay, the of this Asat. Now, to make a literal translation may sometimes become difficult. So we have, because, the frame, the syntax of any language, some different languages are different. For that what is unreal. Asat, for that what is unreal. Asat means that what is unreal. But why are you using this word unreal and real? Because the doubt which was there in the mind of the student was that there is no dukkham because of Atma, but there can be dukkham because of Anatma. Why? Because this Anatma is as real as Atma. Okay, is as real as Atma. Therefore, now, so now, because that the doubt began with real. Okay, since it is real, it has got an existence which is independent of this Atma, and it can affect, okay, the mind, etc., creating dukkham, and therefore me becoming dukkhi, or dukkha has got some legitimacy. Dukkham has got some legitimacy, a right reason for it to exist, can be argued. And therefore, now Sri Krishna Bhagavan uses the word asat and sat. So, asat is a word with, as the sorry, the sat, as the original word is sat, with a negative particle used as a prefix, will mean asat. Correct? Like happy, and then you use the negative particle un, and it gives an exactly opposite meaning, unhappy. Okay? So like that, sat and asat. What is asat? That what is unreal. Then what is sat? That what is real. Okay. Okay. So now that what is unreal is a very interesting way in which this whole thing can be put, but I do not know uh, how well we are all prepared. But any which ways, we will go ahead by the teacher's grace, by the grace of Bhagavan Krishna. I suppose we all will be able to grasp whatever you are able to. For that what is unreal, there is no being, never any being, any reality to it. Existence. For that what is unreal, there is no existence. And for that what is real, there is no non-existence, no non-being for that what is real. So the real cannot be denied or negated, cannot be falsified, and therefore what will be asat? Asat would mean that which can be negated, that which can be falsified. And why can it be falsified? Because it is false. Okay. Why it can be falsified? Because it is false. Like now, in case of the snake and the rope, okay, in that example of snake and rope, we can definitely now say that the snake was false. Okay, the snake was false. Why are you falsifying the snake? Are you doing some sort of an injustice on the snake by falsifying it? That falsification is possible because that snake is false. Then what is the reality over there? It is a rope. So rope is real. But can you now, by the same virtues, by the same virtue of the same coin, can you say that the rope is false in this particular example? Just keep it limited to snake and rope presently. No. You are going to say, no, the rope is real. The snake is false. That falsification was possible because it is false. So that what is asat, that what is false, does not have its existence. But sir, the snake was seen associated with existence, and therefore we had to say snake is there, or snake was seen or was there. So isness, existence was seen associated even with the snake. But does it have its own existence, or did the snake exist, borrowing its existence from the rope? The rope was there, and because of the rope, you saw the snake. So the existence of the snake is dependent on the rope. The snake does not have its own existence. If it was to have an independent existence, would you ever call it false? No. Why are you calling it false? Why are you calling it unreal? Because it does not have its own existence. Now we can draw one rule from this, and that is that which does not have its own existence is false, which means when something is dependent on any other factor for its existence, for it to exist, we will call it false, not real. Like this snake is dependent on the rope for its existence. So that which is unreal does not have its own existence. That what is real. What about the real? Obviously, that what is real has its own existence independent, but it does not have, no, it cannot be cancelled, it cannot be denied, it cannot be falsified, and therefore it does not have non-existence. Okay? It does not have non-existence. So now about two things we have found: that what is real and that what is not real. That what is real has its own existence, and that what is not real does not have its independent existence. Okay? And not having its independent existence means that it is dependent on something else for it to exist. Like the snake is dependent on the rope for it to exist. If the rope wasn't there, then if the rope wasn't there, then would the ignorance be also able to create snake for you to experience? No, sir. So from where is it coming, gaining its existence? It is borrowing its existence from the rope. Like that, that which does not have its own existence is unreal. That which has its own existence is real. But that what is real does not have non-existence. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. That what is real can never be denied, cannot be falsified, cannot be refuted, can't be negated, and therefore it is real. Okay? These are two things about Sat and Asat. Later on, we are going to say about Atma and Anatma are observed by whom? By those who are Tattvadarshi. Those who are Tattvadarshi means now those whose nature is that where the knowledge that they constantly see that what is real, Tattvam, that they see Tattva. So by though it is a conclusion that is observed by the knowers of truth. Okay, so now this shloka is there in front of you, but we have a responsibility to understand more about it. We have seen Sat, we have known Asat. What is there about Sat? Sat is Sat does not have any, it cannot be denied, it cannot be negated or falsified, and therefore does not have non-existence. It does not have non-existence. What is it about asat? About asat, it does not have independent existence. Okay, it does not have existence basically. But then why are you saying independent existence? Because even that what is asat is also seem to be existing. Seems to be existing. Snake is there, you're going to say. So isness is denoting existence, but that existence is not of the snake, but it is the existence of the rope, which is due to delusion transferred to that snake. Now we are going to see more of it, because this is going to talk about Atma and Anatma. We have already known that Atma cannot be the cause of Dukkham. Now we are going to even see that this Anatma is also not, and therefore Arjuna, this Dukkha, this misery, does not have any legitimate location. Then, sir, why is it there? Because of ignorance. And therefore, know this Atma and as Brahman and be free from this misery forever. This is what we are going to see further. And let's wait for the next class to deal with it. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you, friends. Thank you all.